Hey everybody, welcome back to Projects with Paul. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's a collage of photos of a project I did last year of restoring an old John boat. And this is what it looked like when I bought it. It was in pretty rough shape, but I only paid like $250 for it with the trailer. So I'm going to show you the progression of what I did and how much time it took and effort. And it turned out pretty good. This is another photo after I got it. So I started with a trailer, and the trailer was just as rough, if not rougher than the boat. And here's some pictures of the trailer. I had to pretty much strip it down, cut the tongue off of it. It needed wheels, tires, bearings, hubs, fenders, lights, new rollers. So I stripped everything down. The tongue was bent here in this photo, and I had to heat it up and get it straight. And this is what it looked like after I got it straightened up. It turned out pretty good. So I basically just reused the structure, the axle, and the leaf springs. And here I started beefing up the trailer a little bit on the tongue. I added a new coupler. This is what it looked like after I painted it. So I also replaced the tongue jack, the winch, all the bumpers like I mentioned, new wiring, new lights. Okay, so this was the trailer after it was completed. I think it turned out pretty good. You can see the fenders are black there. I ended up taking the paint off of those and leaving them the original white color. This is another shot from the rear of the new LED tail lights. And another picture of the front. All in all, I say the trailer turned out pretty good. Here's a before and after. This is a good example. Once the trailer was done, I started on the boat, and I started with the transom. I had a rotten piece of wood on the back here. And so I got that off and got the boat cleaned up. Of course, I pressure washed everything and sanded down what needed to be. I didn't go too crazy on it. And so what I did was I took this rotten piece of wood off and replaced it with a nice piece of 1/4 inch thick diamond plate aluminum. And here's what that aluminum looked like. And before I bolted it on, I went ahead and took it back off and painted the transom with some boat paint, and then reinstalled it, and there's the inside of the boat painted. And here's what it looks like between the two, before and after. So I think the transom turned out pretty nice. So I flipped the boat over, and the front end was a little beat up, so I took the same diamond plate and I made a piece for the front on the bow, and I added a couple of handles and a nice hook for the winch to hook to. And once I got that done, I got the boat flipped back over and set back on the trailer. You can see here I added the quick attach seat brackets to it, and those turned out pretty nice too. Okay, and then we started building the structure for the deck, and I decked the front of it. And what I did was I used some 2x3 wood material, and I painted it real well with some oil-based paint and 2 coats. You can see it there. It's all braced up real nice. So once I got all the structure done for the deck, then came the decking, and I carpeted that. And that was probably the most difficult part, was getting the carpet nice. I had to glue it and staple it, so it turned out pretty nice. And I left a hatch and made a nice hatch cover for it. You'll see in the upcoming photo. All right, here's what the deck looked like after I closed in the front of it. Got it all painted. Like I said, I painted everything with epoxy paint so it won't rot. And here's a photo of the front. And this is what the hatch looked like after I made the hatch door. I used a piece of nylon for a little opening. There's the new seats. And a cup holder. Had to have a cup holder. Here I used some foam insulation boards underneath the main deck, and I glued those to the plywood just to give it some extra support and some sound deadening. And this is what the main deck looked like finished. Of course, I added a rod holder up there on the front, and there's the front deck. Next, I started on the electrical, and I made everything quick disconnect. It was a 24-volt system with an 80-pound thrust electric Minn Kota motor. And you can see I mounted the fuse and the quick disconnect in the battery lid. And here's a photo of the 2 batteries strapped down, and all the connections are quick disconnect. Made it really nice for taking everything in and out. Of course, everything's strapped down. And here's a picture of the 2 batteries with the motor installed. Those seat brackets are clamp-on seat brackets, and you tighten them up with bolts. But I had to put some straps on them just to keep them from popping off. But that held them down really nice. And here's another photo. Added a rod holder in the back. All right, here's the back of the boat after it was pretty much completed. I didn't have the main decking in there yet. You can see the fenders are white there after I took the paint off. And there's a finished photo from the side and from the front. And here's a good shot of the before and after. So you can see how much time and effort I put into it. It turned out really nice, pretty proud of it. I ended up selling it early this year, and I did pretty good on it. And the guy that bought it was really happy. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for watching Projects with Paul. See you next time.